Hello and welcome to I Came Here With Nothing with Tim Renkema. I'm your host. This is a podcast where I sit back with a very special guest. We watch Deal or No Deal, have a bit of a chat and see if the contestant on this special episode, it's not a special episode by the way, it's just an episode I got. Yeah. Do you know how I get the episodes?
How do you get them?
There's a guy on Reddit that posts them all. And you just can download them for free. He edits out the commercial breaks.
That's so funny.
And the password to get the episodes is banker. I hope he keeps putting them up because it's keeping this podcast alive.
So have you banked a few up then?
Well, I don't know if you remember last episode with Chloe Madron. The computer crashed because I had too many episodes of Deal, so I had to delete heaps. That's then I've only got one at the moment, and it's this episode. It's season 1, episode 136. By the way, our guest Ian Moo, welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you,
Ian. You have been doing comedy for I'm gonna say 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah, you're smack bang on, yeah.
Because sometimes, bro, I get really depressed about a lot of people from my class, my school, the people I came up with. I'm 4 years, maybe closer to 5 years now into stand-up. And a lot of the people I came up with have either moved overseas, they've either gotten really big, or they've quit.
Yeah.
And so I'm hanging out with a lot of the either newer guys or the big dogs that have been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to have someone kind of in my school that's still doing it.
Yeah.
So thanks for hanging in there.
No worries. I feel like I only started with one other person.
Who was that?
Alex.
Alex Choi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like it was just because we both started at the same time. And then when I met everyone, I thought everyone was new, but everyone was like a year in or 2 years in. And because I was like...
You thought they were new because their act was so bad?
Oh, because...
this guy's must have only been doing it for a few months.
Well, because now there's Newtown Hotel. So people that are new gets booked quite quickly. But when I started, there wasn't that room. And so to get booked was quite hard. And I got booked maybe third gig in. And I thought, oh, this is normal.
Right.
And then... So people that were getting booked, I just thought they were all new too. So that's why I thought everyone was kind of new when I started.
Yeah, it's kind of this weird thing happening in Sydney where open mics are pretty fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, people look down on them because anyone can get up.
Yeah.
Then there's booked gigs, but you do them for free.
Yeah.
So really, it's kind of like an open mic. And I've been told if you're not getting paid, you don't have to bring your A game.
Yeah.
You can try stuff at a booked unpaid gig. But as soon as some money starts getting exchanged, that's when you got to bring your top shelf stuff.
Yeah.
And you'll see me bring it out sometimes. Yeah. You'll go, oh, Tim's bringing out some old gear, but it's because I'm getting some cash.
Nice. I feel that pressure. I was saying to you a while back, because you do Sweeney's, and Sweeney's have some really quality acts. And I feel the pressure because I don't want them to see me bomb. So it took me a while to start doing new stuff at Sweeney's because it was I got Wickham there, I got Broadridge there, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to see them. I don't want them to see me bomb, so I'll be doing the same stuff over and over again.
Well, yeah, I've got the exact same problem because I'm there every week. So I run a room in Sydney called Sweeney's Comedy at Sweeney's Hotel. It's close to Town Hall Station, close to the Queen Victoria building, really easy to get to. Every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. We do book some really good acts, and yeah, man, you kind of feel like sometimes you're playing to the back of the room because they've seen you perform a lot. So you don't want to repeat material. Yeah. But also sometimes in the crowd there's regulars. So you also don't want to repeat material to them. But it's so good to repeat material. You got to practice it. You got to get into the routine of saying it. Get your wording right. Try different tags. So Steph Broadridge said to me, don't worry about us. Yeah. Just worry about yourself. Do what you need to do. If you run a new material, that's great. If you want to run your old stuff and just practice it. People come to Sweeney's and go, hey, can I have 10 minutes because I'm filming something and I need to practice. And that's what Sweeney's is there for. It's there to experiment. Yeah. It's there to run new material. It's there to run old stuff. It's there to just put on a good free show. And that's sort of what I was saying before. If you're not getting paid, you can do whatever you want.
Oh, yeah. And so back to that, because now like I've only just started getting booked for like Happies and other rooms that are like a more top tier, but they're still unpaid.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I've only just started getting booked for this. I want a chance to come back, so let me keep doing
For sure.
well, I'll call it A grade, but I don't know if it is.
It's good gear. I like it. You don't get booked on this podcast unless you're an A-grade comedian, bro.
Yeah.
What was your first paid gig?
My first paid gig. What did I do? I probably did some competitions don't count, or
Unless you win them.
I came third in like it was in Agincourt. It was one of Dante's rooms. I forgot what it was called.
And that was like a 20-week
it was
process.
insane.
Yeah.
And he kept like, and there was all these like weird, like you get like $100 or whatever it is. I can't remember what let's say $100, but it wasn't like $100. It was like if you came first on the first night, you got $50. And then if you come first again, then it's another $50, which then adds up to $100.
Yeah.
But then if you come third, means you just get to go through with no pay.
Was there an MC explaining these rules and logistics to the audience?
It was just Dante. It was just like,
but they're like, all right, so if this comedian wins on this night at this time, they'll get this much money.
He didn't go into that much detail. He just went $100. It wasn't $100. I can't remember. It was more. I think I got $50.
Nice.
I came third.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have even been in the finals, but someone dropped out, and I got to that final and then came third.
Nice, man. And then when do you think your first booked gig was that you got paid for? So not a competition.
I had actually I do remember now. I had to travel though.
So you lost money on the trip.
Well, I went with Brock Singleton.
Shout out to Brock. Someone we've lost to the game.
I know.
Yeah, like he's overseas. You know, a lot of people I used to roam around with, and Brock and I used to carpool a lot together to gigs. They're in London. London seems to be the place to be.
Yeah. So we actually travelled to Lithgow.
Okay. And not too far.
Not too far. And I think it was $50. Yeah. So $50.
And how much was petrol? Well, between the two of you,
yeah, that's true.
Pretty good. I think you're still coming out on top.
Yeah, I think I just shouted him a meal when we got back.
Yeah,
and I think he just covered fuel.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I used to love because I was in a group chat with the Cronulla or the Shire open micers, and we had like 10 blokes in it, and we would carpool, we would go to open mics, we would do book gigs together, and that's just kind of disbanded, and it's kind of sad, and it's kind of what I was saying before. A lot of my class, a lot of my school have moved on or stopped so it's good to have people I can still gig with and still catch up with and do stuff like this with, because you see it with the older boys, you see it with the pros. They've got the people they came up with and they all are still friends, and it's really nice, and some of them are overseas but they still stay in touch, and it's lovely. And that's what's so great about the community is, I think, the camaraderie. The last time you were sitting on this couch, we were watching a footy game.
We were watching Matildas.
Were we? I thought we watched the Brisbane Broncos game.
No,
we were watching the soccer.
We were watching the soccer.
Or the football.
The football, yeah. We were watching Matildas. Was it against England? I can't remember.
It was a final in the World Cup that we were definitely not going to win.
Yeah.
It was a pretty hard game, I think. It was either...
I thought it was
England. I thought we beat England, didn't we? Or did we then play for third place or something, and we played... I want to say Spain.
I can't even remember. No, well, Spain played England, didn't they?
That's what I'm getting mixed up. Anyways, that was a fun night.
That was a fun night.
We've never watched NRL together?
We both were at the game. Well, I kept talking about going to the Rabbitohs game, I think, and then I messaged, and you put up a post. I was like, oh, I'm here too. And
Rabbitohs versus Roosters?
I think so.
That's so funny because that was a year ago.
Yeah.
So that game was on last night.
Oh, there you go.
By the way, I know we post this on a Wednesday, but we're recording this on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a shirt that says Friday night. So it's very confusing. But yeah, a bit of movie magic here. We pre-record some of these. But yeah, it's I feel like we're kind of recreating that night where we sat down, we had a few Red Bulls, we had a few non-alcoholics.
Yeah.
We had something weird for dinner, nachos.
Yeah. Which... By the way, but after that, so I get this, when I get food cravings, it's after I've already had it. And now it's like I want multiple of it. And so after that, I just went on this weird nacho. Just couldn't stop eating it.
Do you like a pub nachos?
I don't. I prefer just the Guzman's one.
Yeah.
I can just give them this instruction, like put so much avocado, put so much sauce. Like with the pub ones, I just feel like they just do it and hand it to you.
And it's kind of like they've used the ingredients they have for other menu items in the pub. So it's like got like a Parmigiana sauce on it and stuff like that. But I'm a big fan of Mexican food, but sometimes I have a craving for, my partner calls it like a white girl taco. So it's just like tomato, iceberg lettuce, mince, sour cream, and salsa, and that's pretty much it.
Interesting.
It's like real basic, but it's like what I grew up eating as a kid. That's what my mum used to make us for Mexican night, Taco Tuesday.
Yeah. White girl taco. There's a lot of those, isn't there? Isn't it just like bread and butter chicken sauce or something?
Yeah, you can get that at a lot of Indian restaurants, which is funny because if you're not getting protein, it's not really that healthy for you.
Yeah.
So you're just getting the sugary sauce and then carbs.
Yeah.
Like the protein is the best part and you're cutting that out.
Yeah. Well, I actually like the carb and sauce. So I would prefer just bread and sauce.
I mean, it's delicious, but I mean, you need to sustain yourself. You need some protein in your life. I don't get this protein powder. So I get it. I understand people want to bulk up, but can't you just eat more protein? Like, can't you just eat heaps of chicken?
Yeah.
Or does that just make you super bloated if you eat too much chicken? So that's why they're having the powder. They're consuming less, but still getting that protein.
I don't get it at all.
I mean, I'm not a health guy.
But I don't even get now that there's protein water or protein juice. Yeah. It's like, what are we doing now?
What are we even doing? This world's so fucked up, man.
Yeah. But I had to go through, because I'm really low on my proteins. So my doctor tried to give me protein powder to kind of bulk, just to get some protein back up. And I couldn't, I can't stand the taste of it. Like,
yeah, right.
It's just this weird aftertaste that I just can't handle.
Well, that's what I'm kind of saying. Like, if you're just eating protein shakes, psychologically, there's something going on. Like, you're missing out on enjoying a meal.
Yeah.
And that worries me. They've invented something that's like a drink, a shake, and it gives you all the nutritional needs that a human requires. And it's like, it could solve world hunger. Amazing. But I'm worried about the psychological effects it will have on us if we all tap into this. Because eating a meal is like one of the most enjoyable things in the world to me. Yeah. And I mean, I'm a recovering addict. I don't drink. I don't gamble. There's not much I look forward to anymore. But food is one of the things that I really look forward to. And can we talk a little bit about some of your health stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
So, Ian, you have lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And had a lot of health problems.
Yeah.
When I met you, how big do you reckon you were?
I started comedy, I was probably just a little over 150 kilos.
Wow.
Just a little. Yeah.
I don't remember you being that big, but yeah. I saw some photos the other day you put up.
Yeah.
And then you lost like a lot of weight very quickly.
Heaps, quickly.
And how did you do that?
I got sick. So like, I for some reason I just couldn't stomach food. So food just kept vomiting back out. And so I went down to I went from 150 to maybe 80 something kilos in, I want to say a year roughly. And then, so that's what, like 70 kilos in a year, which is insane. And then I just got even more weak and tired. And then that's when I ended up in hospital again. And in that I was out for 6 months, out of comedy and everything. And in the first maybe 2 months of being in hospital, I went down to 80 kilos to 60 kilos. Jeez. Yeah. So I went from 150 to 60 in just a little over a year, which was insane. And So they had to feed me through tubes. So speaking of, that's when they started giving me all these protein shakes, and I just couldn't stomach it. I would, because I couldn't eat food, it would vomit back out. So they thought, let's try it through liquid, but the taste was so bad, and I just would vomit everything back out again. So they had to stick tubes up my nose to force it down in me. So I was in hospital. I got out of hospital with like a machine that I had to carry with me, and I had all these tubes coming out of my nose, and that's what was kind of like feeding me and starting to bulk me up, and that was
heavy, man. I remember when you were going through it, and you were kind of like, I don't know if I can do comedy anymore. Like I'm not sure if I've got to go back in the hospital. I'm going to have the tube. I'm quite self-conscious about that and stuff like that. It was really heartbreaking to see, but it seems like you're doing pretty well now.
Yeah.
You're back in the game. Have you got any appointments coming up? Anyone checking in on you?
Yeah. So last check, everything seemed to go well. Like I was low on iron, but I got the infusion. So in terms of like everything, it's like I'm just high blood pressure now. So I'm on medication to try and keep that down.
Nice.
And then I just have the regular appointments that are I had heart failure, so I have one coming up next week, and I see him once every 6 months. The stomach one I see, maybe that's more regular, so like 2-3 months. And then I got one because I had the seizure as well. So so I had the seizure, and so I see the neurologist maybe once every 3 to 6 months, depending on the scan results. And then who else do I see? I think that's it.
So much going on. How's your appetite now?
Oh, I'm like super hungry now. So you know the drug Ozempic?
Yeah.
One of my doctors told me that if I hit 75 kilos, he's gonna put me on Ozempic.
Oh, really?
Because I lost the weight so quickly, he's worried that I'm gonna put it on as quick. So, and 75, I'm like 73 and a half right now, so I'm like 1.5 kilos away from being on Ozempic.
Oh man, I mean I've not been through anything as drastic as that, but I'm on some medication that makes you gain weight, and I've never really cared too much about my weight because I was a very small kid. So I'm like, I kind of like being big. It's kind of like I'm fulfilling my childhood dream of being a big old NRL player. So I put on a bit of weight, especially like during COVID, we all kind of did, and I'm on this medication that always makes people gain weight. And I didn't care too much about it, and I did a lot of material about gaining weight, as did you, and you did a lot of material about losing weight as well. And I didn't care too much about it, and then now I've started to get a little bit of like acting work, like commercial work.
Nice.
And I always thought I would be the bloke, the average guy, the everyman in the beer commercial, in the gambling commercial. That's what the vibe I'm giving. And I spoke to this guy who actually comes to Sweeney's a lot just to watch, and he's a really good actor, and he's in a lot of commercials. And I kind of said to him, like, I've lost a little bit of weight. Should I keep it off, or should I put some weight on to try and get those roles? And he's like, people still want sexy. And I thought we were past that. Because in commercials, you see the big bloke. Like diversity is king at the moment. So I was hoping I could be the big bloke in all these commercials. But he was like, nah, try, keep it tidy, bro.
Oh, man.
Which sucks because I love food and I'm on this drug that makes it really hard to keep the weight off. But I just got to exercise and try and portion control and do all that sort of stuff. But I also want to be like the Joaquin Phoenix, where I can like lose heaps of weight really quickly and then put it back on. But that's how you got sick. So you don't want to mess around with that stuff too much. But yeah, man, it's weird. It's a whole new world to me. I've always been kind of a behind the camera guy. Yeah, I've always wanted to be a creative. I've always wanted to be a writer, a stand-up, and that sort of stuff. But now, yeah, I think we're both sort of in this weird phase of our careers where it's like, all right, we've got to start doing some other stuff. Yeah. And commercial work is that thing for me at the moment. And it's fun. It's so fun. I'm gonna try getting into it maybe down the track, so I'm gonna hit you up for advice. Yeah, I mean, I've done 2 commercials. Two more than me. We've got a lot of people around us who have done a lot of big productions and stuff. My dream is to be in a national commercial that gets aired during the football. Yeah. I just want to be watching the football, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me.
Yeah, you told me, and I think you'd mentioned in the podcast as well about the group chat.
Yeah, I'm in a group chat with some big comedians that are in commercials that air during the NRL.
Yeah.
And it's surreal to be like, oh, you know, Brisbane, I'm dropping a few balls today. And then it's like, oh, it's my mate in this commercial for like a massive national company.
Oh, the first time I saw, who was it? Sam Bowden on that KFC, but it wasn't even a commercial. It was just on a bus.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool. Like,
yeah,
it was because I was still new then, so I didn't know that people would do these things.
Yeah,
and, people started. I could see people everywhere.
Yeah, there's a few people. Jared Jekyll, you see a lot. Gets a lot of commercial work. They're amazing. They're such a good comedian, a good actor. There was another bloke that popped up in a commercial that kind of was like, oh, I know them. Who? Tom, you know Frenchie's Offsider? Oh, what's his name? Tom Armstrong.
Nah,
he's a really good stand-up and was in a multinational commercial for a fast food chain.
Yeah. And
it's like, oh my gosh, like I just did a mic with him yesterday and he's on the telly. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. And I know no one watches telly anymore, but it's still a big deal to me.
Yeah. well, with that, like, and maybe because I am a comic, that people will send me clips, but it's of people we know. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Like,
my uncle sent me a clip of Tom Whitcomb.
Really?
Like, Whitcomb, you know, is a few years ahead of me and has mentored me in a way.
Yeah.
Like, has always given me great advice and he's really lovely and let me open for him and things like that. But it is funny to be like, that's my mate.
Yeah, I got a lot of, like, when I first started, because I think He Huang just did AGT.
Oh, yeah.
And I got a lot of He Huang clips. Like, people were just sending the same clip as well. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I didn't know her, but I was in lineups with her. I never spoke to her. And I was like, this is cool. Like,
she's lovely. And I got to know her a little bit from gigging, and also she would do Sweeney's sometimes. And once we were sitting down just having a chat, and I had to be like, hey, you know, like the shows you're doing, it's kind of like a really big deal.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she knew.
Yeah.
And she was like, I know, like, yeah, people are telling me that. She's like, I had no idea. I mean, she's relatively new to Australia. I think she's been living here maybe 5 years or so. So she doesn't know the history of some of the production companies that she's doing work for.
That's crazy.
And I think she said no to a few things. And I was like, it's a pretty big show.
Yeah.
But again, TV doesn't matter anymore. You just got to get those Instagram followers.
Well, like, I ended up meeting her, and I'm always, and still to this day, I'm surprised that people know who, like, the comics that I look up to know who I am. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, how do you know? Like up until maybe 2-3 months ago, I would still call myself an open micer.
Yeah.
And then people are like, you stop doing that.
Well, someone told me to take it off. I put it on my bio.
Yeah.
But I like underselling yourself.
Yeah. That's what people were saying to me as well.
People are saying, no, you got to build yourself up. But you don't. Yeah, my mate sort of asked me when I first started, like, how long in can you call yourself a comedian?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that because I don't really think, like, I'm not a working comedian. I don't do it every night.
Yeah.
I don't get paid for it that much. But my heart and soul's in it.
Yeah.
So I guess I can call myself one. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't call myself a comedian sometimes. I let other people call me it.
Have you ever been spotted? Have you, as a fan, ever been like, oh my gosh, that's Ian Moo?
I have. Oh, so I haven't been spotted where that's Ian Moo, but I have been spotted as, like, someone just came up to me. I was at a the KFC near Sweeney's. So I have this tradition that after doing Sweeney's, I have to go get fried chicken, whether it's at Sweeney's, the $1 wings, or whether it's at KFC, because the KFC.
Whether you bomb or whether you crush, you're always getting fried chicken.
Hot and spicy at the town hall's the only one that does hot and spicy chickens. And you know, and there's also our sumos if we ever do a sumos together.
Oh yeah, there's a comedy room at Lord Gladstone what suburb is that? It's kind of like Chippendale.
I was gonna say Chippendale.
Chippendale. It's a great pub and a great comedy room up in like an art gallery up in the top of the pub, and across the road's our favorite little. It's a service station that sells Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
And we pretty much only do that room so we can go and have dinner afterwards.
I've tried Philly cheesesteaks everywhere else, and none has been as good as that.
There's one in Brighton, and I went to try it the other day and it was closed. And it was like a Wednesday night at like 6 p.m. and it was closed. So I'm like, it mustn't be that good if it's closed on a weeknight. But yeah, the one we go to is amazing, and I rate it hard. And I've got a gig coming up at Suma's just so I can go.
I might meet you there.
Yeah, let's do it.
But being recognized, so back to being recognized. I haven't. So no one's gone. That's Emu. But I was at that KFC. I was on the phone to Esky, who I'm doing a split with, and some guy just goes, "Where do I know you from?" and I'm like, "Oh," and he had this really. He looked like a chubby Monopoly guy, you know, and so he was really quite like. I could recognize him as well. I noticed that he was at a recent gig, and I go, "Oh, I'm a comic," you know. And he goes, "That's right, I saw you at," I can't remember what room he saw me at, but he said, "I saw you at da da da," and I was like, "Yeah, that's me." Yeah.
I once had a guy who's like, he's like, "Hey, wait a second, I know you. Are you on Grindr?"
That's funny.
When I started dating my partner Tess, our third or fourth date, we went and saw Cam Duggan at the Sydney Comedy Festival. Cam Duggan was kind of my wingman the night we met. So as a favour, thank you, we went and saw Cam's show. And we were sort of going into the Enmore Theatre, and one of the ushers, this young woman, was like, "Oh, you're a comedian. I know you." And it was really funny because I just started dating Tess. I'm like, "Hey, it's my night off. I don't know autographs. So I don't want to be bothered." And this girl I just met, she's like, "Who are you? Like, why do people know you?"
So this is the second podcast I've done. I want called Cheat Coders to try and promote my show.
Which is a huge podcast.
Yeah, it's insane.
Much bigger than this one.
This one's fun. And I was saying to them that like I matched with someone on a dating app, and now like they limit how much you have to talk to each other, so you can have to like pay for it.
Okay.
And so she sent me her Instagram.
Oh, good, yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I want to message, because I have stand-up stuff on it, and I don't want you to see it just yet. Like, and so I didn't end up.
I think there's some comedians, some open mic comedians that only get headshots so they can use them on their dating profile.
Yeah.
I think they use stand-up as an in.
And the funny thing is, I actually have a stand-up photo as one of my profile, but because I'm just holding a mic, you can't tell if I'm singing, emceeing, or just giving a speech.
You just look like a confident person.
Yeah.
You don't want them to hear the material yet.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm not dirty. I'm not dark. I just don't want, I don't know what it is. I just didn't want that person to.
But also, what we do is embarrassing.
Yeah.
And what we do is sometimes not always good.
Yeah.
And we bomb a lot. And you need to sort of let them know how it works. You go, hey, sometimes I test material and the audience hates me.
Yeah.
Because they're going to just think you suck, but it's like, no, it's a process.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like get to know someone first before dropping the I'm a comedian card.
Yeah.
I mean, I think some people use it. I think they're pulling it out straight away. Hey, I do a bit of stand-up. I like hide it from everyone.
Yeah. I've definitely dropped it to try and get someone's number or something. But if I'm really, it's like there's something about, I try not to.
Did it work?
It didn't, no. like they find it cool and they'll talk to you for a bit longer. But then after a while, I think that novelty runs out, and so like for the first maybe 10 minutes or maybe even longer, they're so interested, they want to know more about it. And I guess that's with like mates or people you meet for the first time. They're like, oh, this is awesome. I've never met someone that does stand-up comedy. And then after a while, they're like, okay, I've asked all the questions I wanted to ask. Now I can piss off,
I had a mate call me the other night. He messaged me and said, I'm doing a speech at my mate's wedding. I'm the best man. Can you help me write it? And he had already written it. He just wanted me to punch it up. And he goes, I don't really want to send you the Word document. Can I just perform it to you? And I was in the bath listening to the speech. And I pretty much said to him, like, it's perfect. I'll give you 1 or 2 little tags here, but you don't really need them. The only thing I would adjust is you're doing a big act out. And you just need to be aware that that act out is a cliche. Yeah. And the audience don't know it's a cliche and that you're doing your own take on it. Yeah. So I don't know if you've heard the bit. A lot of people do this. They go, all right, you know, the now that they're married, anyone that's got a key to his place or her place or their place, bring it back. So like it's sort of saying like anyone that's slept with them, like bring the key back. Yeah. And then they get like, you know, random people come and dropping a key. You know, there's like all different looking people. It's like a big gag that a lot of people do at weddings. And he was doing his own kind of take on it. And he goes, yeah, I'm aware of the bit. I'm doing this spin on it and I think it will work. And he messaged me like straight after he did the speech. He's like, I crushed. The bit worked. It was sweet. Thanks for your advice. And I'm like, dude, I didn't even do anything. I gave you like 3 little jokes. Yeah. And I felt embarrassed because I'm like, I'm meant to be a professional comedian. I want to be a writer. Like my dream job is to write monologue jokes. Yeah. And I can't even punch up a best man speech. I feel like such a fraud. Yeah. But it is hard to write for other people and to find their voice. I often write roast jokes for people. Yeah. And I don't even know the person you're roasting.
Yeah. I wrote some like for last night's roast. I don't know if you know there was a roast last night. I wasn't there. Yeah.
Were you in? Oh, you were just watching.
No, I wasn't even there. I just some people messaged me asking to just have a look.
I was going to say, this comes out next Wednesday. You know,
yeah.
Do you want to? Can you plug anything? Can you plug the we don't have a very big audience yet, but can you plug the Esky? I'm going to grab. Do you need another one?
No.
I'm going to grab another Red Bull if you want to plug your show, and then we'll watch Deal or No Deal.
Yeah,
and then we've got jokes to tell at the end. Have you got any jokes?
No, but I come up with them on the spot. I probably have some that I'm thinking of. I'll think of them while we're...
Any roast jokes?
Not for you. I've not thought of roast jokes.
I'm not a big fan of the roast format. No, it makes me very anxious.
I so I was in last season, came 4th. I lost to Lockie and Joseph who won. And after that, I was like, I think I can't do this anymore. Yeah.
You've done a lot more than me. I don't know how you get through it, but it's fun to write.
It's fun to write. It's so fun to write.
Plug your fringe show.
Yeah.
And then I'll get myself a Red Bull.
So 14th and 15th at Factory Theatre. I don't know the website off by heart, but it'll be on the fringe ones. Yeah. I think we're at the factory floor, so we got a big room, which is making me nervous. So come to Saturday, Sunday. I think Sunday's doing all right. So Saturday if you can, but if you can't, Sunday's fine.
Awesome. First split bill.
Yeah.
Sydney Fringe.
Yeah, first Fringe show as well. Oh, yeah.
All right, well, let's watch some Deal or No Deal. I've just started the episode. There's Grant Denyer wearing a nice 3-piece suit. It's what colour would you call that, Ian?
I'm actually colourblind.
Oh, okay. Well,
so I'll say that
it's bright purple.
I was going to say green.
It's kind of like greyish, greeny.
Okay, so I'm close.
Yeah, his wardrobe department's crazy. They do some crazy stuff. Yeah. So this is Mark Kalapkapu.
Yeah, and he did a nice, what do you call it? Is it called a dab? What he did with, he's got a good dab. Is that what it's called? Those handshakes when it's
I thought this was the dab.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Whatever that handshake is, you know, when you're not like, you kind of go up in a weirder angle.
I was about to say he's a tall man, but he's only like a half a head taller than Grant, and Grant's very short. So I think he's very average.
Yeah.
But he's a handsome young man. He's from regional country Victoria.
Yeah.
And he's picked briefcase number 15 because his favourite numbers are 12 and 18. And he goes, I'll just go in between that. But I've been not gambling. I've been vicariously living through a friend of ours, Finn.
Yeah.
Who loves the punt at the moment. And 15 was always my lucky gambling number. Because the first time I had a punt at the casino, I accidentally put it on roulette.
Yeah.
And I clicked the wrong button and it went on 15 and it won.
Yeah, wow.
So 15's always been my lucky number. So I'm keen to see what's in briefcase 15, but I'm also keen to see what's in briefcase 12 or 18 because that's what he could have chosen. But I always miss that when we're watching. We get caught up in the show. So
Yeah.
if you can keep an eye out for 12 and 18.
All right.
He's a primary school teacher for PE.
Interesting.
Grant kind of had a go at him, like, oh, tough job kicking the ball around. But it's like physical education. It is. There's more to it than just kicking a ball around. I used to love PE, and I'm not a very sporty person. I wish I was, but I'm not.
Me too. But I think it was just PE was not being in the classroom, right? It was
That's
like
right,
having another recess or lunch. Like, So,
All right, let's start playing. So he's going to pick his first case. He's got 6 to open until a bank offer. Briefcase number 1, and it's got $100,000.
oh my goodness.
This has happened the last few episodes we've done.
I feel like I was gonna say
First briefcase, $100,000. That instantly mucks up your first bank offer. Like no matter if you have a perfect round now, like and you only get rid of little stuff, you're still going to have a really bad first bank offer. But no one ever takes the first bank offer anyway. So I've always said this, it kind of plateaus. You got to just sort of play through it. But if I had a bank offer early on of like 10 grand, I would think about it.
But I don't think they'll release the episode. That's what I'm thinking.
And I've mentioned this before. I think you only get the money if the episode airs. But the thing with this show is they're pumping out 5 episodes a week. They record them like all in one hit.
Yeah.
It's a tough gig. Like Grant Denyer looks tired.
And they used to have they'll have like a week where they just do big win week or they have small win week. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they used to program it. Now they're doing celebrity week. Now they're doing, I've seen the promos. I've seen some other stuff. All right. Second briefcase, $5. It's nice to keep it on that left side, on the blue side. We call it the little side.
The little side.
Keep it on the little side. So he did mention, I think, that he wants to pay for his
50.
He's not having a good go early on. Grant's very disappointed in him. He mentioned that he wants to pay for his dad to go back to Cyprus. He hasn't been there in 70 years. That's where he's from. Mark, who's the contestant, has visited once. So that's nice. I can't.
I know. Didn't take his dad.
Yeah, that's right. He just went for a boys' trip.
I know, that's it.
Catch your dad. But how much would a trip cost to get there to Cyprus?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't even know where Cyprus is.
I know it's the name of a great Jonah Hill film.
I didn't even know that.
With
oh my goodness.
He's lost the big 3, $50,000, $75,000, and the $100,000. I need a drink.
Yeah.
I need a Red Bull.
Oh my goodness.
It's funny how we were talking about like health and stuff, and then we're just
that's it. Yeah.
Apparently these aren't that bad.
Yeah. You just need what's the protein intake on this one?
Don't worry about protein, bro.
0 grams.
I drink a lot of fruit juice, and that's like awful for you.
Oh yeah.
You get no fiber.
Yeah.
And then it's just pure fructose.
I was saying I'm so into energy drinks at the moment. It's just insane.
I took a year off because I was so addicted to them. Have you heard people who go, I've got an addictive personality?
I feel like I've got that.
I feel like we all got it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I like pleasure.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if you don't, you're a very what's the word? Like hermity person.
Yeah.
That's okay if that's who you are.
Oh my goodness.
The big 4 have gone. It's just like, no. What was that little nut?
I don't know. This is insane. This is intense.
I don't watch these episodes before we do the podcast. So you're getting the same thing I'm getting right now.
This is more intense than that Matilda's game. Like I'm on the edge of the seat.
Is this last briefcase before bank offer? Okay. $50. And she got a correct guess. I like the correct guess. $250. So, what do you think the bank's going to offer him here?
I don't think it would even touch $1,000.
No way. Well under $1,000.
Well under $1,000. Because he's got 5. Is it the next one?
I'm going to say $750. Whoa, $240.
Okay, I was thinking high hundreds.
Imagine if he just goes, I'll take that. I love the person in the crowd. He's like, no
that means
deal.
That correct guess got more money than him.
I've never thought of that. I love the person in the crowd who's like, no deal. It's like, obviously, mate, I'm not going to... I could have gone to work and made that. I paid more for parking than to. Yeah, all right. So
Yeah, he came from country Victoria.
I've never seen a bank offer that low. That's pretty
insane.
crazy. But I mean, he's taken out the big four in the first. What do you call it? The first segment.
Yeah, the first section of it. So it's 5 now, isn't it?
I should really read up on the rules. You know, I was having dinner with Ben Caution, one of the best joke writers of our generation.
Yeah.
And I told him he was very impressed with how much lasagna I could eat.
Yeah.
And then I told him a joke, and I go, "That's your joke, by the way." And he goes, "Oh, really? I should start doing that again." It's funny how like you write so many good jokes, you just forget them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But the joke was about like learning the rules to NRL. He's like, "I think I could play NRL. I got to learn the rules first."
Oh man. All right. So it's still on the blue now, 500.
But you're right. It was five cases till the next bank offer.
Yeah.
I like when it just gets down to one case.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes a real game.
50-50.
By the way, this podcast is called I Came Here With Nothing.
Yeah.
Because that's what they always say at the end. They go, "Well, I came here with nothing. Let's just keep playing." It's an awful thing to say.
It is.
Because you just lost a lot of money.
Some of them might leave with nothing.
Once because we've been doing this podcast a little while now, and I've sort of had to pitch the idea to a few people, and people are just like, "Yeah, I don't get it." And I think I'm very obsessed with this show compared to others.
Yeah.
But from a perspective where it's like, I never want to be involved with the show. I never want to be a contestant because, again, that's more stressful than doing a roast battle. Like putting yourself out there like that and then potentially looking like the biggest loser on TV.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to be in the audience. Like one of my favorite things is to go and watch TV shows being filmed, and that's how I actually got into comedy. Was watching the warm-up comedian do their thing. But I don't want to be involved in this show. It's so much stress and anxiety.
It is. So because they've lost 7 of the top 8, I think.
And Grant Denyer does a great job at keeping this show light.
Yeah.
But like you're ruining someone's life sometimes. But they came here with nothing.
They came here with nothing. That's right.
All right, where are we at, Ian? He's really got nothing going on for him right now.
Well, it's got the 30K, which is his biggest, and then from then, just 7.5.
I just remembered the Deal or No Deal official Australian Instagram posted a picture from this episode, and I reposted it. And it was a what would you do?
Yeah.
And kind of when he was in this situation with not much left and he gets a pretty decent bank offer, everyone said deal.
Yeah.
So we've got a very conservative audience.
Sorry.
Would you play this game conservatively? Are you happy with a small amount of money?
I'll be happy with a small amount of money.
What would you want to go home with?
If I got it, I've heard the pass, and some of them got close to 10K. I was like, I'll be happy to leave with anything over 5.
Mate, I've won 10 grand on it.
420.
Do you think the banker does funny numbers? Remember when we started the podcast, it was always 666, the marking of the beast, and 420 is quite a funny number.
Yeah. 240.
I think the banker's got a sense of humor.
Yeah. I always thought the banker kind of knows what they got, but...
No, that would be such a conflict.
I know.
I think the banker knows how to play the game and get you to do what they want them, like, because they've got a budget.
Yeah.
But also some game shows you can take insurance out of the big prize going off.
Yeah.
So it's gambling. There's obviously chances of winning big, chances of winning small. So you can take insurance out against the big prize not going off. And then if it does go off, you're covered.
Yeah.
I don't know if this show does that, but some shows do that.
Yeah, I don't remember this show doing it. I remember you can trade your briefcase.
In the old, they used to do some crazy stuff on the old version. This game, this version of the show seems to be very traditional. They're just pumping them out.
Yeah. I told you, after the first episode you guys aired, you and Kianosh, I jumped on ChatGPT and played a game of Deal or No Deal with ChatGPT.
That's so funny. Well, I've got the DVD of the interactive game, and we can actually play it.
So you pause it.
Yeah.
But then what? So you have to choose a number.
You choose a number, and then you just play through the game, and it's Andrew O'Keefe sort of playing you through it, and he's recorded things and says stuff. So we might do that one episode. I just got to work out how to hook up the DVD player.
Is it the monkey's gone?
The monkey. Hey, I've got that shirt.
The monkey's gone. Hey,
and he's got a banana shirt.
He's doing all right now. I got the bottom two out.
I mentioned this a while ago that I think people wear their funny shirts to try and get picked. Because if you're an outrageous looking person, you'll get on.
Yeah. Wow, there's 3 left on the right side.
So there has not been one decent bank offer. There's been 2 bank offers. The first one was like $240. The second one was $420.
Yeah.
I would like to see a grand here. Okay. $1,160 offered. That's his third bank offer. The audience is still saying no deal. This guy's got to get his dad to Cyprus. Yeah. I don't think you can get to Cyprus for that much money.
No. They can't get anywhere with that. That's just going to the other side of Sydney with the tolls and fuel, right?
And a maxi bond along the way.
Oh man, I got so addicted to ice cream again. I did an open mic, and me and Kevin Jin went to go get ice cream, and I was like, rather than buying 2 individual ones, we just bought a 4-pack and just shared that because it was cheaper.
That's so funny. Where from? Like a supermarket?
Yeah, like IGA, yeah.
It's so much cheaper to go to a supermarket to get your little treats.
Yeah.
You've been name dropping a lot on this podcast, but it's great because now I'm thinking, I could get them on the podcast.
Yeah.
You're giving me like guest ideas.
Yeah.
All right, 4th bank offer's coming up. He's got 1 case to open. $250.
Right.
So he's got $10 left, $75 left, and $100 left on the small side. On the big side, he's got a grand, $5,000, and $30,000. So the top prize he's playing for is $30,000. Hopefully it's in his briefcase, number 15. We've definitely missed 12 and 18, haven't we?
I feel like it. He might have left them to the end because it's his favorite numbers.
It doesn't seem like he's got
there's 12 and there's 18 there.
They're still there. And he just got a bank offer of $2,260.
Okay.
Again, I'd be thinking about it.
I thought they were going to offer him slightly higher than that. I thought it would be just under 5, so maybe like 3 to 4 somewhere.
What I would like to do one episode is have someone who's really into maths doing some numbers.
Yeah.
You know when Tom Gleeson was on the show as like a celebrity guest on Deal or No Deal, he's got like a bachelor of, I think, science and maths. Yeah. And he was like, this banker has no logic. And it's true, the banker messes with you, but it would be fun to have a mathematician come on and be like, this is what they should be offering with if your chances are like this.
That'll be cool. Well, mathematicians won't be.
Well, do you know who we need is Joel Kane from Sportsbet?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's all odds.
If you can get Joel Kane on, that's impressive.
I love Joel Kane. He's one of my favorite commentators.
Oh, man.
It feels long, this episode. 2 cases still to go. When do they get to 1?
Yeah.
There's 6 cases left. Well, 7 cases including his one. There's 22 cases all up?
No. So it'll still be 6 cases left.
I mean, like,
yeah.
Anyways, I'm still learning. The game was this podcast is always me explaining the show to the guest,
but also to yourself.
I'm still working it out, and it's funny because the podcast idea, the conception of this podcast, came from my partner Tess. She started. Like she was a shift worker and then started sort of more regular hours, and she'd be home and be like, what's on telly? And she had never seen this show. And I had to explain it to her. And she's like, what's a correct guess? What's going on?
What's a correct guess?
She knew nothing. She's like, you win money if you correctly guess it? This is weird. Who's Grant Denyer? Why is he in a suit?
Why is it 3-piece?
Why is it always 3-piece?
Did KFC serve that? Like...
All right.
Okay.
A bit of cash being offered to him, $4,950. Do you think the bank deliberately didn't give him $5,000 to, again, play? You know how supermarkets will say it's like 99 cents?
I think he's going to screw up that one for some reason. It's a 50-50 chance.
Do you want this guy to win? Normally, I form a little bit of an emotional attachment to the contestant. I'm not getting a lot from this guy.
I feel like because we're not watching properly. I feel like I'll always want the contestant to win, but because we're not watching properly, I kind of want him to, like, I don't know. I have no feelings towards this.
Sometimes when a contestant rejects a bank offer I would have taken, then I'm like, screw them. I don't want them to win anything now.
That's true. If it's a big one, you're like, oh, they're getting... Oh.
All right, this is the situation I think
Yeah.
it was at when I posted it. So he's got $10 on the small side, $1,000 on the big side, and $30,000. He has a 1 in 3 chance, or is it 1 in 4? No, 1 in 3 chance of winning $30,000. And his bank offer is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
He's only got one little one left.
Whoa.
He's almost got a $10,000 bank offer, $9,300. I would be taking that.
I'll be taking that.
Because as soon as you open one and you lose that 30, you got nothing left.
Yeah.
And when you think about the odds, that bank offer is pretty spot on.
I think so too, yeah.
9,000.
A third.
Yeah. So sometimes the banker does it properly. Yeah. He doesn't mess, or he or she, I don't know who it is. Is it just AI?
Yeah. Well, not then. But that's enough for Cyprus.
This is the first person I've seen on this game show who doesn't have a friend in the audience. This guy's a loser.
Oh, isn't it that guy?
Oh, yeah. They've been showing him a lot.
Yeah. They look alike as well. I feel like they're brothers.
Is it brothers?
Yeah.
Surely they can just chip in and pay for their dad to go to Cyprus.
That's right. Yeah. I can't believe he's even thinking about it. Now, you're right. Now I want him to lose.
I kind of want him to play on just because I don't care.
Yeah.
I think this guy, I'm being very judgmental, but he looks like a bit of a dickhead. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but, you know, PE teachers, I've not had the best experience with them.
It does look like a jock, like a bully.
If you're a little short, skinny ginger kid,
no deal.
A PE teacher's your worst enemy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we'll see. I don't want to judge a book by its cover. I haven't heard him speak too much.
I haven't heard him speak.
But he's gone no deal on almost 10 grand. And again, this is what I just said. When people deny what I would have done, I go, I hope they lose it.
To be fair, everyone that also does it, I think, oh, you're a pussy. You should have done. You know what I mean? Like,
it depends. Again, it's that emotional attachment, and I kind of want him to lose now because I would have taken that offer.
Oh, so I think one of the numbers would have been because he's got 10. So that means one of the numbers he just picked was one of his favorites.
Oh, so 18's still there. That was one of his favorites. Is 12 gone?
So I think 5 grand was the 12.
Okay, good. Oh, so nice. He just lost his last little one. Yeah. $10 is gone. He's got $1,000 left and $30,000 left. This is where the banker gets interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be in between 1,000 and 30,000.
Yeah.
It's going to be some sort of mind game.
Yeah.
They might want him to play.
I reckon if I was a banker, I'll offer just a bit over 10. Oh, 15. Okay, so it's kind of
it is kind of in the heart. Like,
yeah.
That I would be taking that. So it's $150 over the halfway mark. So $15,150. His mate's telling him to take the deal, or his brother, we don't know.
Yeah.
His twin brother. They created Facebook together.
Yeah.
And the audience have changed their tune. They're saying take the deal.
I never knew, so I would listen and I never watched it, so I didn't know that was a sign for a deal.
It's Ausland.
I thought it was like this or something.
It's sign language, bro. I think he's going to take this.
Yeah.
And he's very lucky to get it. Here we go. He's taking it. I think
it.
This is the first time we've sort of seen someone take a good deal.
Yeah.
$15,150.
That's impressive.
Do you pocket the $150 and give the $15,000 to your dad?
Yeah, you have to. I reckon he's pocketing more.
And his brother's still got a case to open and might get a correct guess. That's $250 added to the kitty.
That's true.
All right, what do you think? What do you think is in briefcase 15 in the contestant's briefcase? It looks like they might open that one first.
I think he's got the 30.
Okay, let's see. Grant Denier's going to open it for him.
We've got sirens happening.
Ooh, he's got the 30.
So do I get the 250 as well? 1K.
So he honestly played the game the best way you could.
Yeah.
That was the best offer he could have got, and he had the 30 in his briefcase. He played it all the way to the top without losing. That was pretty incredible.
That was good.
I got to give it to him.
Yeah.
Bit of a jock, bit of a goofy-looking guy.
Yeah.
Pretty handsome. I don't like good-looking people.
Wait, what do you say? Because you like me, right? So does that mean you think I'm quite ugly?
But well done. He played the game well, and I would have copped out. I would have pussied out and taken a deal way too early.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess what did he make? An extra $4,000 or something?
Yeah, for 5. Yeah, a bit over 5.
I mean, that is a bit of money.
Yeah, that's probably the flights.
So he played it very well. I can't have a go at him for that.
Do you know what I'm thinking? So he knocked out a lot of good ones early. Imagine the bank offers if he never knocked them out early. Like if he got the mid-range.
Well, that's the thing. You like in your first offer, you could be offered like a lot,
Yeah.
and then not play on. But then that first, or you play on, and that first offer was like the best one you get.
Yeah.
It's such a crazy game. That's why we love it.
That's insane.
All right, I understand that sometimes it's quite boring listening to us talk about a game show that we're watching. So we like to end the show with a few jokes.
Yes.
Normally I write one-liners that are kind of silly or fun or goofy. And it's in the essence of Norm Macdonald. Do you ever watch the Norm Macdonald show? At the end, he would read jokes of blue cards.
I haven't, but I've seen some of your other podcasts where you've done something similar.
But now what's happening, right, is I'm just starting to like do stand-up premises and be like, is this anything?
Yeah.
But because I'm not writing such traditional jokes, I've tried to write a few traditional jokes, but I also bought this cheesy jokes, 100 single cheesy jokes. And I thought it was just silly jokes, but some of them are about cheese.
Yeah.
And some of them aren't.
So I saw that before and I thought they were like cheese crackers. I didn't actually see the jokes.
100 single cheesy jokes. My girlfriend wakes up in the middle of the night. She's like, have you been up all night reading cheesy jokes again? That's a Simpsons reference that no one probably will get. Anywho, can I pitch some jokes? And have you got some stuff?
I've got some. I will have some stuff. I've got some stuff that I was working on and I stopped.
See, again, these are premises, so they don't really have punchlines.
Yeah.
So I always get in trouble because I don't know my partner's friends.
Yeah.
I don't know their names. I don't remember what they do. I don't know what they look like. But that's because they're like not memorable.
Yeah.
Like they're all Sex in the City, brunchy, basic bitches. My girlfriend knows all of my friends, but they're crazy characters.
Yeah.
They're over at our place every day. She hates them. They're all unique in their own way. I've got a mate with an eye patch. We call him Patches. He's classic. I've got a mate with one leg. We go down to the park and play soccer. It's hilarious. Yeah. These are crazy and memorable guys.
That's fun. So it's like for a girl to remember someone, they have to hate her. You know what I mean? It's like, I hate you, so I remember your name. So, I hate that Ian or whatever, you know.
That wasn't the premise. I was more like, my mates are just wild and they're at the house all the time.
Yeah.
Your friends are just average people that aren't memorable to me. They're not, you know, if they come over and they're jumping off the balcony, I'll remember that.
But then you also like that. That's a thing. But then your missus might hate that.
I've been trying this joke at Mike's and it hasn't been working. But my partner's one of those people that's like, you've got to look me in the eyes when you cheers, otherwise it's bad luck. But I have autism, so I can't look anyone in the eyes. She knows this. She's disrespecting me. She's not acknowledging my diagnosis, but still, Happy New Year's, baby. I love you.
That's funny.
This is a premise that I'd like to do. You know how baby names are getting pretty outrageous? They're getting pretty weird. They're quite unique, especially with celebrities. But even my friends are starting to name their kids in some unique ways. I've got an idea. When my mate has a baby with a unique name, I'll go on Gmail, I'll go on Hotmail, I'll go on Yahoo, and I'll buy up their email addresses.
That's smart.
And then I'll sell it back to them when the kid's old enough to have an email. I got a Gmail ready for you, bro.
Yeah, that's so smart.
It'll cost you $58. But also, I'll get you domain names.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to cost you more. If I see a kid with some potential, if they're going to be a businessman, an entrepreneur, or a star, a celebrity, an influencer maybe, I got your domain name ready to go. That's going to cost you. That's $1,000.
That's so funny. That's a future episode of Deal or No Deal. What are you going to do with the money? I want to buy my domain name back.
By the way, we've got a website for the podcast. Whatisthedeal.com.au.
Yeah.
You can check that out. All right, this is an actual joke. So I have undiagnosed ADHD. I also have undiagnosed cancer and an undiagnosed broken leg.
That's funny. I
thought I would chuck in a real joke after all my loose premises. Do you want to do a cheesy joke?
I'll do a cheesy joke. I got a joke that I think I did at Sweeney's once, and it didn't really land, and I really liked it.
I feel like we have to stop mentioning Sweeney's on the podcast because no one has any idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But Sweeney's is a comedy room that I run on Tuesday nights. Come along.
I did an open mic on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
It's not really an open mic. I did a comedy.
I used to get annoyed when people called it an open mic, and someone called it an open mic on Tuesday, and they're a big comedian. So I kind of get it. If you're a big comedian, it's an open mic for you. But I mean, some comedians treat the Comedy Store as an open mic.
That's true.
So if you're big enough, any room's an open mic. Dave Chappelle uses theaters as open mics.
That's it. Yeah. Like when people go, "What room is a good room?" Like I always mention Sweeney's.
Thanks.
Not as not as an open mic there, but you're right. Sometimes it's just to have I sometimes even say certain rooms are open mic, even though they're not.
I get that whole thing of if you're not getting paid, it's an open mic. Yeah. Some of them are bad.
I don't even want to do this one.
You got to commit to the bit now.
It's more because I can't pronounce a word.
Oh, okay.
More than I don't know the joke.
You get another one then if you're going to do it.
You
can I see?
Yeah. I'm not a good...
Oh, yeah, I don't know that word either.
Yeah, okay.
It's hard when the punchline...
That's a punchline as well.
Yeah, you can't pronounce the punchline, so I don't even get the joke.
Yeah. Okay. What do you call an apology written in dots and dashes?
Something to do with Morse code.
Yeah, remorse code.
Remorse code.
That's
pretty good. Pretty good. Should we end the show on that joke?
I was gonna do one that I was...
pick short one.
So I was sleeping with a girl that does Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Yeah, and that's not the joke. And she asked me to choke her. And I was like, what kind of choke? Was it an arm triangle, like a rear naked choke? Like, what kind of choke do you want? Okay, that was my joke.
I think it's got legs. There's a lot of, like jiu-jitsu choking jokes going on. And I don't think I've heard that kind of take.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I think you can do something with that.
Okay, I'll work on that one.
Yeah.
I did sign up to jiu-jitsu like for a trial bit. And I mentioned this on stage as well, that I've noticed that there's a lot of middle-aged men now doing it. Like there's so many.
Yeah.
Like it's like the new midlife crisis.
My favorite comedian who's 40-something and just had a kid and blah, 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 Joe List, he does it.
Yeah.
And he's like a scrawny little guy. And I think it's sort of that thing of like anyone can do it, but it kind of helps you feel a bit tougher.
Yeah. Is that Joe Rogan's doing? Do you reckon like now comedians are doing jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, maybe.
To try and get on the podcast? Like, yeah, it's like...
Ben Caution has a jiu-jitsu joke.
Oh, really?
He goes, I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu because my kink is getting choked. And he goes, I'm undefeated because I'm just there going, more, I like that. And everyone's like freaked out.
He's so good.
So I guess that has sort of been done, but your ankle's good as well. I think you've got something there.
Yeah. So I watched Duggan last night. I watched Duggan last night as well in his new...
He did a triple.
He did a triple. It was so good. I think it's finished now, so... No point plugging.
Who was it? It was Rowan Arneal
and Charlie
McCann.
Charlie McCann.
Who is one of the best comedians going around, but doesn't really get up that much.
So I met Charlie. So yeah, I opened for someone and they were on after us. So that's my first interaction with those three boys. I've never met any of those three, but I've seen Rowan around. I've seen Duggan around. I've not seen Charlie around. And all three lovely blokes, but I got to talk to Charlie every time, and it was always kind of made time to speak to me, say hi. I was like,
beautiful
awesome.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I messaged him because Sam Campbell went on Andy Lee's show, The 100 on Channel 9.
Yeah.
And there's 100 people on Skype on this big screen. And Sam Campbell halfway through the show just goes, wait a second, top left, is that Charlie McCann? And Andy Lee goes, who's Charlie McCann? He goes, oh, just a friend.
That's so funny.
I sent the clip to Charlie McCann, and Charlie's like, oh, that's so sweet.
I gotta find that. Yeah. Do you ever do a set and then someone rocks up that you recognize and you're like, oh, I didn't know you were coming, or
Like a big comedian?
big comedian, or just even a mate, like that throws you off a bit?
I'm very particular. If I have friends, family, people I know coming, I want them to let me know
Okay.
so I can bring my A game.
Yeah.
I've never been in the crowd and been like, oh, I know that person. I thought I did. I have really bad facial recognition stuff. And I thought I was doing a gig once at Luna Park and I recognized someone from work in the audience and they were on a date. And I was like, oh, I'm going to ruin their date real quick. But then I got off stage and I'm like, oh, that's not them. That's not her. Like, I've just got that weird thing. So, yeah, I've never really had it. And, like, I've never really had anyone that famous in the audience or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I've heard of it happening.
Yeah.
When Cam Duggan, who you just mentioned, Duggan's pretty big.
Yeah.
He's on the telly and stuff. But he used to just come to like Crown Comedy and just watch, not even get up. And he sometimes comes to Sweeney's just to chill. And I'm like, do you want to get on? He's like, no.
Yeah.
So like seeing him, even when Caution used to come to open mics and stuff, I was always like, oh, shivers. But that hasn't really happened for a while.
Yeah. Also, Tuesday night is a fun hang when I've come to I would love to just come and hang. I think I have come to just hang.
Yeah, we had a few open micers just come and hang.
Yeah.
But you know what was annoying? We didn't have a big audience, and I was like, can you guys sit in? But like, they love hanging up the back with the comedians, and they want to feel like they're part of the crew, and I get that.
Yeah.
But it's like, we need you in there.
That should be the rule. If you want to come hang, you have to sit on the...
I don't want to be a dick about it, but I also really appreciate when new comedians bring their friends.
Yeah.
Like if you want a spot at Sweeney's, bring your friends and you're on.
Oh, like that Japanese guy.
Brought like, how many? Like 6, 7 people?
Yeah.
Half the crowd.
The only joke that landed was my riff with them. The bowing joke. I don't even know what
I'm going to Japan probably next year.
Oh, nice.
Billy Darcy, we're name dropping hard.
Oh, is this? Yeah.
Right.
Let's just keep going.
Billy Darcy just got back from Japan and said it's like the best place to do comedy and every gig is paid and it's just good crowds and they love English comedians and oh my gosh, I'm going to honeymoon there.
Yeah.
And my partner's like, no comedy. I'm like,
we'll see.
If she's having a little nap, I might sneak out and do a room real quick.
That's interesting. Like before doing stand-up, I wanted to travel and being overweight. I wanted to travel to eat. You know, now I want to travel to actually do stand-up.
I'm more travel to eat.
I still want to eat, but
I go to Bali like every year, and everyone's like, "Oh, you got to do comedy. There's a place here, there's a place there," and I'm like, "No, I'm good, just having some satay. I don't need to flex in Bali, but I'll flex in Tokyo."
Yeah. I really want to try the actual Wagyu because I heard some of the Wagyu aren't actually from Japan. It's like
no, the Batuta Advocate did that great joke where it's like, mincemeat automatically becomes Wagyu as soon as it hits pub plate or something like that. And it's so true. Every pub menu's got a Wagyu beef burger.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not Wagyu because it's a special.
Macca's
it's a special cow.
Yeah.
It's a Japanese cow. Yeah. So. I'm a big fan of kingfish.
Oh man,
do you like kingfish?
Yeah, I love food. I was actually thinking because I might be going to Piedmont later and I might just swing by the fish markets. I was thinking of that while driving. I was like, I wonder if I could get some.
I used to work in Piedmont and I might be working there again very soon. I had a meeting at a radio station recently to do some stuff there. Yeah. And I can't remember there being great food there. There's a lot of like cafes that do good breakfast. I think there's a bar me place that's pretty good, but it's so close to everything. Piedmont, like you can get to the city really. Like you can walk to the city. You can walk to the casino. The casino's got some good food.
Yeah.
And there's a really nice. I always go to the theater. I really love musical theater.
I've getting into it.
Yeah, and I always go and I go, I'll have dinner after.
Yeah.
But it's so late. Musicals go for like 2-3 hours. There's an intermission and everything shuts. And I'm always like, oh, I'll just go get something in the casino because that's always open. And there's this great, it's kind of like a fusion-y Asian restaurant. I think it's a chain. I think a big celebrity chef owns it. But it's for late night food. It's pretty good, unless you want to go to Haymarket and they have some late night stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of late night food.
Yeah,
and
too.
It sucks that Sydney doesn't really accommodate because we're out.
Yeah.
I was walking around the city the other night and like everything's shut. Newtown's getting better. There's some stuff open there late night. We go get pizza sometimes.
Yeah, that's
man.
no, that's closed. The one that
Detroit.
Yeah, that's gone. I messaged it to Finn. I was at Factory Theatre the other night and finished up late and went to the kebab place there for a snack boss. Yeah. All right. Do you want to close up with that?
All right. Here's a joke. Why did Waldo, Where's Wally?
Yeah.
I'll make an Australian version. Why did Where's Wally meditate?
Why?
To find himself.
I thought it'll have some cheese in it for some reason.
Some of them. Let's try and find a cheese one. The one we couldn't pronounce was a cheese one. Anyways, we probably got to go. We're way over time as always.
Nice.
These podcasts used to be 40 minutes on the dot.
Oh yeah. How long is an episode? Like 20.
Yeah, 22 minutes, and now we've done an hour and a bit.
Yeah.
I'm in big trouble. My producer's going to be breathing down my neck. He's going to be in the edit going, let's cut out all the Charlie McCann stuff.
It'll be an episode if they just beeped all the name drops. Every name drop is a beep.
I've mentioned this before, but Sean McAuliffe did a sketch. I don't know what show it was on, but it was like, you can win the best of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, just the banter. So it's just Eddie Maguire going, what do you do for work? That's what we should just watch, the banter of Grant Jenny. And that's pretty much what I watch on this yellow pad. I just watch the first 5 minutes to get the background information. Yeah. One day I'll have a producer doing all that and we can just come in and watch an episode. Do you think we should watch it with captions so we know what they're saying, or would that be too distracting?
Have the option there, I guess. I feel like even with the caption, you'll still be talking. Like it's because we're trying not to give too much dead air, right? So we'll still be talking.
I like silence.
I do too.
As an open mic comedian, I'm used to it.
Yeah. As a normal comedian, I'm used to it.
Normal comedian.
I get booked for bombing.
Is that what you have in your Tinder profile? I'm a normal comedian.
Yeah. Well, I did a room. Was it the one with Sticks and Stones where they talk to you? And my first time doing it, they're like, okay, we'll take another name. And I'm like, hang on, you didn't talk to me. And they're like, yeah, you're normal. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they only talk to people who are like mentally unwell and they try and like solve their problems. Yeah, they spoke to me that was one of the first rooms I did. It was the first room I did coming back to comedy after 7 years off.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand. I saw them setting up like a gong. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, this is going to be bad. And then they talked to me after my first set and they're like, oh, this is your first time, blah, blah, what are you into? What's your passion? Blah, all that sort of stuff. And such a lovely room. Yeah. But everyone had like awful memories of it. But my experience was like, these people are so nurturing and that room helped me get kind of good at stand-up. And it's a shame that it's not around anymore because I think some of the new boys might need that sort of room.
So too. I love that room. So I actually had really high things. So I went and did bits, which you shouldn't do.
I did as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then the next 2 times I went and told stories, which I normally don't. I never do. I never tell stories. So I told my health story and I told the story about the money thing. I don't know if I told you, but the moving money story.
I know the story. Okay. You're not allowed to talk about
that. And they gave me so many good tips with that, but I'm like, I'm not telling that on stage. But it was just fun to tell on stage once.
I've started workshopping in my head what my festival show is going to be. Yeah. And it's raw. And I'm like, I can't even do this in Sydney. Like I'm going to have to go to like Brisbane or Adelaide or somewhere to like workshop it because I can't talk about this stuff in front of a Sydney audience. But that room, Sticks and Stones, it was kind of like a mini Kill Tony kind of vibe, but you got 4 minutes and then they would interrupt you and things like that. But everyone was like, it was such a hard room. But because it was all I knew, I just wanted to do good there. And after a few, I did jokes and I did well, and I brought some friends and family, and they loved that room because it was pretty edgy. And I did well. And then someone else got up after me, another straight white male comedian, and did jokes and did well. And then a female comedian who's very good got up and said, "Why are you guys laughing at them? They're not funny. No. This is not what this room is about. This room is about bringing people down." And it crushed my soul because I was like, I finally got some laughs.
Yeah.
And they've just been taken away from me. Anyways, Ian Moo, thank you very much for coming on the podcast. We're still kind of fleshing things out, but I think we're getting there.
Yeah. Thanks.
Would you like to come back another time and watch another episode of Deal?
Yeah. I'll try and bring less names to drop. Yeah.
Nah, drop the names. Yeah. I feel like, and I used to do another podcast. I still do it, called the Body Surf Podcast. You're wearing the shirt right now.
Competition.
And we used to do the same thing. We would talk about body surfers, and people were like, "Who are you talking about?" We don't. So sometimes you can name drop, and then you just got to explain who they are.
Yeah. I'll have to do that next time.
I got to do it as well. Yeah. So Grant Denyer, he's a television personality
that wears 3-piece suits.
He's really into race cars.
Actually, I did know that. Did he get into an accident?
Yeah. And then he used to be a weatherman.
I remember that too. Yeah.
So he's had a colourful career.
Tim Bailey's the next.
So
who's a weatherman?
Yeah. Bailey's. I haven't seen Bailey for a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's some budget cuts, and I think they got rid of him.
Well, that was another interesting. Do you know Tim Glover? Is it Glover the comic as well?
He's a traffic.
Oh, traffic. Sorry,
yeah.
I just saw him a helicopter assumed.
I've never seen them do stand up.
Yeah, I saw him do stand up.
Good.
He's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, I always see pictures of them doing stand up, and I always see pictures of them in a helicopter.
Yeah.
But I've never seen them doing rooms.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in a while though.
It must be hard if they're doing like breakfast TV, like Traffic.
That's true.
And then to do gigs at night.
Yeah.
That's who we should get on as guests, just people like sort of associated to weather. Tim Bailey, Glover.
And
who else? Anyone from like Sky News Weather?
Yeah.
Do you ever watch the Weather Channel?
No,
I just look out the window.
Yeah, like that's more accurate than that's.
But what about tomorrow?
Oh, look out the window tomorrow.
Ian, is there anything you want to plug to our 20 listeners?
Again, the Fringe Show, 14th and 15th at Factory Theatre, and Instagram Moo at Instagram.
Awesome. And check out our website. It's www.whatisthedeal.com.au. We got to get out of here. Keep on dealing. What's the deal with anything?
Yeah. I came here with nothing, so.
And we left with nothing. Maybe
a can of Red Bull.
I'll give you, you can take home a mug if you want. But old mate Mark went home with $15,000. Pretty good day in the Dealer-drome. All right, we got to go. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.